channel. So today I've created this spotlight smoky eye look for you all, and I'm going to take you step by step on how to create this look. So if you want to see how I got this eye look, then please keep on watching. Okay, so for today's look I'm going to be using the Doll Beauty Mud Pie and Mochachinos palette. I think I've only used this once on my channel, so I thought we would dip into it today. It is one of my favourite palettes. I dip into it all the time. I was really late to the bandwagon, and you can see that the colours in it is absolutely beautiful. So my first shade today, I'm going to dip into Chalk Drop, and I'm going to be taking this on a MAC 224. So I'm just going to use circular motions to buff this into my crease. I'm using a really light pressure as I want a really nice blend, and I don't want this to be too harsh. I just want this to be the transition shade for us. I always get asked what my top tips are on blending eyeshadow. I would really recommend to take your time and don't go in too harsh or too heavy. I've mentioned this before, but I really recommend to hold your brush at the end as it gives you a much lighter touch. Now I like my eyeshadow winged out, so I'm going to take whatever's left on the brush and start pulling that back a little bit. You can see that after just 2 really quick layers, that has built up a really nice pigment on the eye. So I'm going to do the exact same on the other eye. I'm just taking a little bit and I'm buffing this into the crease using circular motions. My other piece of advice would be to not go too high. I see a lot of people when I do lessons, they'll pop the brush in the crease to start with and then they just go higher and higher. If you have a fluffy brush and you pop your brush into the crease, the fluffiness of the brush will buff it around for you, which is what will give you that blend. Obviously, as the shadow starts to come off your brush and there's very little product, I will just kind of tickle the edges and bring that upwards, but that is when there is barely any product on the brush. But mainly just stay in your crease and buff that round, and that will create that blend for you. I'm just going to do the same again and just drag out that shadow on the outer corner just to give me that little bit of a winged look. Personally, I prefer to have that winged out look. I just think it suits me best, but if you guys prefer something a little bit more round, just kind of keep it to the outer corner of your eye. So here you can see when I've barely got anything on the brush, I'm just kind of going over and making sure everything is blended together seamlessly. On a T Beauty London brush, and this is T9, I'm going to be taking Mud Pie, and I'm just going to start to place this on the outer corner of my eye first. And again, I'm using a really light touch. I'm just making sure that I pack that pigment onto the outer corner. This brush was very kindly gifted to me just a few weeks ago, and it's quickly become one of my favourites, especially when creating like a spotlight eye or when I want to build up a lot of pigment. So I'm now going to tap in the inner corner and build up the pigment the exact same way that we did on the outer corner. This is one of those moments that you've just got to trust the process. A lot of people panic when I'm doing lessons with them and they want to learn a smoky eye at this point, but honestly, don't panic. It's just about building that pigment at this stage. So I'm just going to take another layer of Mud Pie and I'm going to pack that over the top. Like I said, we're just focusing on building up that colour for now. And you don't want to blend with this brush. This brush is literally just about getting that shadow down. Then I'm going to go in using a Morphe M506 brush, and there's nothing on this brush. And again, I'm going to hold it right at the end of the brush. I'm going to very gently tickle the outer corners of where we've popped that shadow down. And this is just going to give us that blend. I just like to use very little motions going over that shadow just to blend it out. And like I said, just keep your pressure on the brush really gently. So as you can see, that has really nicely blended out. So we're going to do the exact same on the inner corner, and we're just going to very, very gently tickle the edges, and we're mainly going to pull it inwards towards the eye. You want to keep the lightest part. Don't worry about how messy this is because we're going to go in with some pigment later, but you want to keep that lighter part of the eye pretty much directly above your pupil. That is the guideline that I like to use. So now you can see that it is all blended out. I'm going to go back in with our first shade, Chalk Drop, and I'm going to buff back into the crease as we've lost some of that pigment. And what this will do, as well as bringing the pigment back, is it will just blend everything together. So I'm literally just going in the same place as we started with, which is right in that crease, and I'm just letting the brush do the work for me. Then I'm going to go back in with that T9 brush and same back into Mug Pie, and I'm going to pop that back over the same place that we did it before. And right now I'm just building up the pigment, making sure that we get it nice and smoky and nice and dark. And I'm going to do the exact same thing again, just tickle the edges using the Morphe brush. If you don't have this kind of brush in your kit, then I really, really recommend that you do. It is great when you're doing really intricate eye looks or really smoky eyes. They're just really good for getting that detail. I'm going to take a tiny, tiny amount of that Chalk Drop again and just buff over again very gently. Okay, so now we're going to repeat those steps on the other eye. So again, in with Mud Pie, we're going to build up the intensity on the outer corner, and we're just going to use tapping motions to apply the product. Same with the inner corner. I'm going to take that Morphe brush again and just tickle the edges. Back into Mud Pie to add another layer. Back in with Chalk Drop, back in with the MAC 224 brush and just buff over those again. Okay, so now I'm going to take this NYX glitter glue. I really like this, and as you can see, it's been battered. I'm going to take about this much, and I'm just going to kind of work it into the back of my hand first, because I don't want to apply too much product too quickly. So I'm just going to apply a little bit to the back of my hand, and then have some on my finger, and I'm going to pop that right over that lighter patch that we left before. And I'm going to go just slightly above my crease, as I personally like to see it when you have your eyes open too. Using tapping motions. You just want to make sure that you've put that directly where you left the lighter patch earlier, and just make sure that it's directly over your pupil. I'm going to be using a Peaches pigment, and this is in the shade Dynamite. It is so, so beautiful. And I'm going to use the same finger that we applied the glitter glue on, as it'll be slightly tacky. I'm just going to very gently pop that where we placed the glitter glue. As you can see, that just gives a gorgeous payoff. I absolutely love how amazing a spotlight eye can look and how beautiful the pigments go on, and especially over that glitter glue, it's really, really nice. As you can see, it gives a really, really nice payoff. It's such a pretty colour, and you've literally just applied it over with your finger like that, and it is dispersed itself. And I'm going to get a little bit more of that glitter glue because it does dry quite quickly, and I'm just going to disperse that on the back of my hand again. Grab a little bit on my finger and do the exact same on the other eye. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Mochaccino, which is slightly darker than Mud Pie, and I'm going to take this on that Morphe brush, and I'm just very gently just going to brush from the outside coming to the inside, and ever so slightly just go over the lines of the pigment just to give it a really soft blend. But honestly, I am being as light as a feather. I am barely touching the eye. Same again. And just remember not to go too high with this. Just keep it right where we put mud pie earlier. And you can see that just adding that little bit more depth has just added to the look. I'm going to repeat the exact same steps on this eye, just really focusing on that outer corner. So once you're happy with the intensity, we are going to leave it there. And then I'm going to take this T Beauty London brush again, and this is in T15. It's a little angle brush, and I'm going to dip it into Licorice Black, which is obviously the black shade of the palette. And I'm going to very gently just rock this into my lashes. This is just so that it adds a little bit of drama to the lash line, but we're not having anything too harsh. It's just going to give a little bit of a smoke because we don't want anything to take away from the spotlight eye that we've just created. And again, you can see the difference that that makes. For my waterline, I'm just going to go in with a brown pencil. I'm just going to use this one by Clinique, but you guys can use any brown pencil. So you can see that I've applied that to my waterline, and I've also just smudged it into the lash line ever so slightly. I'm just going to take this little chunky pencil brush, and this is Zoeva's 230 Luxe pencil brush. I'm just going to rock that into that lower lash line, and I'm just going to smoke out the brown pencil that we popped down with a little bit of mud pie. Onto mascara, I'm going to use Perversion by Urban Decay. I really like how chunky this makes my bottom lashes. So I'm just going to give a quick coat onto my top lashes because I am going to be applying false lashes over top. And then I'm going to apply a good coat to my bottom lashes. Okay, mascara done. Now onto lashes. For today's look, I'm going to use these Ann Roma lashes. These are in the style Luna. Oh my gosh, they're absolutely beautiful. I've used Ann Roma's lashes quite a few times now, and I'm obsessed with how nice their lash bands are. And I like to reuse my lashes, and they really last a long time. Like, you can keep reusing them because the quality is so good. So I will leave their link down in the bio along with all the other links if you guys want to check out their Instagram. Not only is their packaging amazing, but their lashes is amazing too. So I have a full video on my channel on how to apply false lashes, but I will quickly run over it today. The first thing that you want to do is to measure it to your eye, which you'll have just seen me do then. Cut it so that it fits perfectly, and then apply glue and leave for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then I like to apply the middle first, and then the outer corner, and then the inner corner. And then a little tip is to just squeeze them together with your lashes just so that they have the perfect fit. And honestly, never underestimate a comfy lash. There is nothing worse than one of them really scratchy lash bands that just hurt and feel uncomfortable. These you can literally not even feel that they're on. So I'm going to go in with Peaches and Cream's Feline Lip Liner. If you haven't tried these, you really need to. I'm going to use a Jordana T-shirt lip combo. So I'm going to go in with her liquid lipstick. This is in the shade In the Buff. I love this lip combo if I've kind of got something like heavy on the eyes and I don't want anything too much on the lips. Just gonna wait a second for that to dry, and now that's dry, I'm gonna take Hun lip gloss. And I really like both her liquid lipsticks and her gloss. The liquid lipstick doesn't dry too dry, but it stays on for a really long time, and her glosses are really nice, not too sticky, and they're really pigmented, which is really good as well. So the very last thing that I'm going to do is take Urban Decay's liquid liner, and this is in Midnight Cowboy. I'm just going to take a little bit of this and just kind of brush it onto the spotlight, but so gently. and it's just going to give that extra twinkle. Just like so, and I'm going to take a tiny bit of it and just pop that in the inner corners too. I'm then going to mist over my face with the iconic London Prep Set and Glow. This is in the shade Original. Okay, so this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed learning how to create this spotlight eye. It looks super complicated and super hard when you just look at it like this, but it's really about taking them steps, step by step, and pulling it right back and really taking your time to build up the different layers. Once you've got that perfect, it really isn't too difficult to do. It's all about practice. Practice definitely always makes perfect. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other video suggestions or any makeup looks that you'd like to see from me, then give me a little comment down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys!